There we go. Hey, welcome to my first live stream. So you'll forgive me if things aren't quite as smooth as we want. I'm doing this. I'm doing this to help answer questions that people may have about tone, technique, what to practice, things like that. Hopefully this will work. I'm just using my iPhone right now. So I think, can I see the comments if I press the little comment button? Let's see if anybody's commented anything. Live chat, all messages are visible. Okay, so I think if you guys comment in, I can answer questions. Until then, I'm just going to mess around with my Vox Wah Wah. Let's see, I'll play, oh, this will just be a fun little game. Let's see if I remember how to play Freddy's Dead. Ah, we have a first question. What picks do I use? I'm not super picky about picks, but the main ones I use all the time are my Dunlop Blue Turtles. I don't think the turtle is left on these, but yeah, it's a 1mm Tortex pick. I buy them mainly because they're readily available. Hey, Jeff's on here. Hey, Jeff. And yeah, that's what I use, 1mm. Oh, this is a fun game. You're stuck in a rut. Okay. Common question, where to go next? Here's where most of my students are stuck. You guys and girls are all good at chords, bar chords, and things like that. The thing that I always recommend people work on is putting fills in with your chords. This is so funny, there's so many things. So yeah, if you're stuck in a rut, pentatonic fills with your bar chord shapes. That's the thing that I think is a good thing to work on. Because yeah, it kind of connects everything across the fretboard. Boy, there's a lot of questions. This is kind of crazy. Let me see what other people are saying. How do I get to all the chat messages? I'm sorry, this is my first time doing this. I do like Johnny Marr. Specifically, some of my favorite Johnny Marr stuff is Angus's question. I'm going to have to go find that. It's actually, I like the stuff he did with the Talking Heads a lot, and I really like the stuff he did with Modest Mouse. Oh, I don't remember it now. I don't really remember it. Ah, yep, Jeff Good is telling people about the deco. Yes, I do like Rory Gallagher as well. How do I see the other comments that people are asking questions? Nope, that doesn't do it. Yeah, so I guess I can only see the comments as they come in live. Maybe I'll get my iPad out next time and see if that works better, or buy an iPad. Hey guys. And there's Davey Brooks, he's on here. This is kind of fun. Getting the most out of your deco pedal. Yes, I know I have sold a lot of decos for Strymon. Mainly, I like the deco. The tape compression side, I push it up high. So I usually run whatever the saturation knob is, about 3/4 of the way up, depending on the guitar, to almost, I guess, 80% up. And then I have the smaller knob, and you can see it when I do the little shot of the pedal in like whatever the tone walkthrough is. I also, what do you call it? Yeah, and the output knob is aimed at the A of saturation, I think. So it's like one knob is that much, and then the other knob is, yeah, this is great. There you go, is up that much. I hope that helps. Yeah, that to me is the best use of the deco. I like a lot the other side that it does flange and chorus and things like that, and it does do slapback. But I like, do I have a buffer on my board? I can answer that question in a second. I like to use an analog delay separately for slapback, just because I feel like it's warmer and richer. I do have a buffer on my board. My analog delay actually has a built-in buffer, that Maleko Echo buffer or delay. You can set it either with a buffer or a true bypass, and I actually have the buffer on to kind of put a little more brightness back in the signal chain. I wish, yeah, I'm sorry that like yeah, that the questions go away. Thanks, guys. Yeah. What strings? On this guitar, hold on, I'm using Ernie Ball 11s because it's a short scale guitar. And yeah, it's short scale, so I figure that the 11s kind of pull it together and keep it kind of tight and give a little more sustain out of this thing. And I'm having fun with my wah-wah today. This is a fun day. For working on practice tips, oh, hey James, how's it going, man? For working on rhythm and picking. Again, I always say slow and steady wins the slow and steady. So like, I play drums too, and I played drums for as long as I played guitar, and it definitely influenced the way I play guitar, because I kind of keep everything, try and just keep a beat going, and just keep everything really in the pocket. Now, specifically about picking, yeah, the right hand is sort of the unsung hero of guitar playing. I always, yeah, my friend Danny, who's a great flat picker, he told me this. He's like, when he watches people play, he actually watches the right hand instead of the left hand. Alternate and economy picking. Yeah, I mean, okay. So if we want to talk about picking exercises, let's talk. There I am with my standard blues scale at our 5th fret. I think one of my best ones, hold on, let me move this a little bit. Say something magical so I can do some 16th notes above 125. My main advice for picking is if we just take that same scale, let me try and get my chair a little higher so we can see my hand. Okay, there we go. You can do an exercise where you do 4 per note. And then you could break it down to 3. You could break it down to 2. And so on and so forth. That's a really great way to get your alternate picking going. It's funny. I grew up being taught by shredders, but then became very primitive because of, because the generation I'm from. And I asked for pregnant in chromatics and diminished, the flat 5s. Actually, yeah, I got some live shows coming up this weekend. Thanks, everybody. I didn't know that this would go so well. This is like kind of overwhelming a little bit. What was just saying? Incorporating diminished tones. So the magic of the diminished, I guess I'm going to turn my wah off so I can just focus on answering questions. What shredders do I like? I actually like a lot. I love Steve Vai and Eddie Van Halen. To me, he's the classic. But incorporating diminished tones, the flat 5 is going to be your closest thing there. Thanks, Ryan. Lean heavily on that, and that'll get you part of the way to that Marc Ribot. Oh yeah, with George Lynch, that's a good one. Because I grew up in the era of shred, I had all the Hot Licks videos and all that stuff. Paul Gilbert's great too. One of my favorite videos were actually, I had a bunch of Frank Gambale videos. Like, the production on them was just wonderful and hilarious. I'll always remember, he actually had some cool exercises where like you take, again, there I am at 5th fret, I'll just stay at 5th fret, and this was a cool exercise from a Frank Gambale shred video. You do skipping. Kind of a good string skipping exercise that sometimes I find myself doing. John Paul wrote, do some Blake Mills, or asked me to do some Blake Mills. Man, as I frequently comment about Blake Mills, he's one of those guys that I watch, and usually I can tell pretty well what people are doing, but he is one of those ones, he's quite innovative and unique in his voicings and his movements. Are these live videos saved after they finish? I think so. Again, you'll forgive me. I was just trying to find a way to answer questions that people had emailed me in a way that was kind of, everybody could get them done at once. Hey, somebody learned that same string skipping exercise. Yep, that's the wait, that's the fire truck coming from your fretboard. That's hilarious. Yeah, I'm in my teaching studio in Carborough, North Carolina right now, and the fire engine or the firehouse is right around the corner. Can you teach? Can you scroll the feed to see the questions and take your time? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure. Oh, you can. Thank you, someone, for telling me that. All right, let's go back here. Wow, this is a lot of questions. Look at my finger. Okay. We asked, what picks do I use? Stuck in a rut. Strings. Hi from Orlando. Hey, Greg. Strymon Deco. Is that a... Okay, let's just go all the way back to Rose asks, is that a poster of Bloomfield and Cropper on the wall? Let's see, what do we have here? I am in my teaching studio, which has a lot of stuff from just forever ago. We have a Jimi Hendrix poster that I've had since I was 14, a very threadbare looking Led Zeppelin poster. What do we got here? Some Beatles, some hippie stuff from moms in college, and yeah, that's kind of what we got here. Let me go back here. Let me go back. There's so many questions. I didn't realize that everybody has so many questions. Okay. Your shirts sound great. Thanks, Greg. Talking about the deco, asking about that, getting the most out of the thing. Daniel Ryan asks about Johnny Marr. I do have to study some more Johnny Marr and take some of his stuff apart because he's, yeah, definitely an innovator of the instrument. Let's go back a little bit. Dave writes, hi. Deco settings, I think I covered that. Okay. And questions about the album. I have a little... Oh, that's a crazy sound. Hold on. I just connected my wah. I have an EP that is in the can and mastered. I'm getting the art together right now. It's taken some time to get it all together. I think it's going to come out hopefully by the new year. We'll get everything set. I'm not the best with self-promotion, so that's what's slowing me down. It's weird, yeah, because it defaults when I scroll to the newest ones. Thank you, Pete. Thanks. Oh, Emmett O'Connell asks, how long have I been playing? I've been playing guitar since I was 14. And let's see, I'm 39 now, so however long that is, with 14, 24, 34, 20, yeah, 25 years. Long time. And yes, let's see, so thanks so much, Beard you. Okay, I don't know how to say that, but thank you. And then we talked about that. Thanks, Daniel, about the Blondie arrangement. That was a fun one. James was talking about rhythm. How are my strings doing? They're going, okay, see you later. What notes should one use other than seventh to jazz up arpeggios? That's a good question. To jazz up arpeggios. You know, for me, yeah, the seventh is a big one. And that's about as far as I really go with arpeggios. Like, one of my favorite little exercises, a lot of times we're taught arpeggios and we get really excited to learn these kind of big 2-octave sweepy things, but I like to break them down into just little 1-octave things. So here I am with a A minor 7th arpeggio. 5, 8, 7, 5, 7. And I just like to cycle that around. Starts to sound like, what's that minimalist classical composer? Philip Glass. Then I'll move it up to a D. Then if you want, so for me it's less about adding more notes and it's more about being able to connect simpler ideas. So like I could take the same idea and go up one, down the next one. That's a big one. That to me is a lot more interesting than necessarily... Okay, that was kind of cool too, I take it back. But my main advice would be, rather than adding more notes to an existing arpeggio you have, being able to string smaller arpeggios together on the fly, I find is more useful for playing to changes. But then again, I don't know exactly what kind of song you're playing to or what the genre is. So for different genres, there's going to be different rules. Or there's not really rules, but things that might sound cool. Let me scroll a little bit back. I do, okay, where, I'm just trying to, yeah, it's weird because, yeah, everybody's commenting, so they get bumped down. Okay, that was a good question from Rafay. I think I pronounced that right. I haven't played in Europe in a while. I got to do a tour of Europe back in 2008. Ronnie asked. That was really fun. With a group called the Strugglers. That was fun. John Paul. Yep, we talked a little bit about Blake Mills. All right, everybody. I'm going to have to do some Blake Mills, even though he terrifies me. He's just, his stuff is so amazing in left field. Thanks. Recommended reasonably priced amps with killer tone. Who asked that? Angus asked that. Good question. Oh. Hold on. There's so many good tube amps out. Mainly, I'm a Fender guy, so I love those Fender bass breakers. Those are pretty affordable and have, good tube tone. I love the Vox stuff. A lot of Vox amps are so affordable and sound great and don't cost too much. Marshalls, I like Marshalls. They're kind of expensive though. I think in like affordability, like bang for your buck, I do think Vox tube amps might have cornered the market a little bit. In fact, yeah, I mean, well, in here I'm playing through my little Tweed Deluxe, but I also have, I love this little amp. It's not even a tube amp. This little Vox Pathfinder. Ugh, it's the best $50 I ever spent. Great little solid state amp. Let me go back a little bit here. Sorry, just scrolling back to try and make sure I catch all the other all the comments. Okay, that was from Angus. Then Poop Skipper asks, do you have any Mark Ribot tone settings or tips? Advice for a sound other than running through the ES25? Yeah, I wish I had an ES25. Mark Ribot tone. Generally, if you have an ES125, that's great. There's always a little bit of distortion in his tone, so any kind of light overdrive that's just not too thin sounding is going to sound great for Mark Ribot tone. Other things that I would do, you want a nice little bit of slapback if you have it. I don't have my board in here right now, but any slapback, even I've seen him use digital delay pedals just fine. I like analog delays, but you could use a digital delay for a short slapback. And then, what was I going to say? A little bit of reverb on the end of the line will also kind of tie it all together. And that'll get you pretty close to a Mark Ribot setting. And then the rest is in his crazy, crazy fingers. Okay. Sorry. Okay. I think these videos will be saved, so you could watch them. And yep. Camille told me that I can scroll back through, so that's very useful. Yeah, seems like, oh, hey James. James wants me to do some Blake Mills too. I'm gonna have to, I guess. Clearly, that's what the people want. Yeah, I do like Joshua Homme. I don't know how you say it, but yeah, some of those. There's that one Queens of the Stone Age record that Dave Grohl plays on. The one after the one that has No One Knows, even though that song's awesome. I like that record a lot. Sorry, just scrolling back. And okay, then we were at, do I like the replacements? I do like the replacements. And was talking about, yeah, Chad is talking about 16 Blue. I don't know that one off the top of my head, but I could take a look at it. That would be an interesting one. Scott is talking about the Dickie Betts turnaround from No Way Out. Yep, that's the trick right there. That's a great trick. I can't. Any tips on how to get your thumb independent from the fingers? That's a very good question from, I don't know how to pronounce that. a license. So if you want, let's see, usually for thumb independence, I start with, I like to teach Fleetwood Mac's Rhiannon. That's a great one for working on that, getting the thumb going. And what you really have to do is you know, once you, I think actually you guys probably all know if you watch my channel, I feel like Adrian at anyonecanplayguitar.com, he might have this one on his website, and you can get the tab from him. Nice guy. We chat back and forth sometimes. With thumb finger independence, you kind of got to break it down beat by beat. So it's like the first beat. It's really that slow and painstaking to get that. What you have with thumb finger independence is you either have notes are coming at you with the thumb or against it, or some combination thereof. Other things you can do if you want to be simple, there's a great exercise in one of my books that I have on my bookshelf over there, where I got myself kind of a G drone going, and on top of it I'm going to put a G scale. Addison is talking about John Fahey. I do love John Fahey so much. It's kind of why you see me do some stuff with a 12-string acoustic, because yeah, I love that the freaky folk stuff. Okay, let me check some more of these questions. Yeah, I'm probably gonna start doing these Q&As every week, because I guess there's a lot of questions. Okay. Just gonna get back. Okay, Addison. Addison Neal is asking me if I've heard of Vinnie Riley. I have not, but I'll have to check him out. I always love good recommendation. There's just so much good music out there. What's your Wolfgang Keim, I don't know how to pronounce that, is asking me, what is my opinion on scale in blues? Do you play the blues scale over the complete progression or the according scales over the different chords? Good question. The answer is what my accountant will always tell me. That depends. You can do both. It really depends on the vibe you're going for. Most of the time with blues, you will stay. You'll kind of stay in the same overall scale, but you might add a note or two here or there to kind of, when it goes to that 4 chord, you might sneak other things in. And when it gets to the 5, that's kind of my first tack with blues. But if it's like a really slow, long form blues, then I would probably take a different tack and play more to the chords as they're going by. I didn't realize that there were so many questions. I'm going to be able to do this for about 5 more minutes today, but now that I know this is so popular, I'll make sure next one I schedule, I will set apart some other time. Let me just tell you, sneak preview for tonight's video premiere is going to be another one of my Dave Rawlings videos. It's going to be my take on Scarlet Town, which has this amazing cross-picking thing with a capo up of the 7th fret that's just really, really cool. I'm butchering it now, but that's what you're going to see tonight when I bump the new video live. Let me answer a few more questions before Fred walks in this door for his lesson. Thanks so much, Patrick. Oh, we're talking about vibrato. Okay, let's take a, yeah, I do have to talk more about vibrato. I think Patrick had a specific question I think he commented about. Again, let's state the magic of being able to get that push up. I think the key is death grip on the neck. And so once you have, notice I'm locked in here, all three are pushing, it goes up, and then you just have to slowly, I'm actually using my wrist, not my fingers, I'm not trying to do that, I'm actually, it's all in the wrist actually for vibrato, which seems counterintuitive. One of my favorite things to work on for bending and vibrato, seems weird, but George Harrison's solo at the end of Come Together. Like I learned that when I was like 15. It's a great thing to work on. This guy, I don't know if it might fret out on this guitar. Hey, I got it. When you choose songs, do you think about, what happened there? Oh no, where'd my live stream go? Go back to live stream. Hold on, I lost my stream. Are we still there? Okay, we're still there. Scott asks, when I choose songs, I have my tastes, and then I can tell by all the excellent taste that all you people have that a lot of them line up. So it's pretty easy for me. Sometimes I'll go a little more obscure. You know, I might do like that Dunyan Swedish band that I like. I know that's kind of like my thing a little bit. But what I always try and do, whatever I choose, I try and make sure that there's a musical a principle or something interesting about it, regardless of whether or not you like the song or the artist already. You can appreciate like the melodic movement, the chords, or the way in which I've arranged it. I see Fred is pulling up in his Mercedes. He is a retired doctor, and I'm going to have to teach him some James Taylor now. I'm going to keep doing these. Hopefully everybody, thank you so much. I didn't realize that this would be so successful. This is very humbling, and I'll get better and better at these. The more I do them, I guess I'll probably do them every week. Click on the stuff tonight to see that Dave Rawlings thing. And if not, that's okay too. Just have a good couple of days, and I'll see you next time, or on the internet comment threads. You guys are all so nice, and I really appreciate your support. It does mean a lot to me. It's really awesome. All right, I gotta run. Cheers.